This is the Run Recap. Exactly. Yeah. Well, man, I keep on waiting for this season for you to come back and be like, there was a huge powder day, and I went over my head, and and I pulled it off, waiting for the backflip moment, waiting for like the time when you just like went for it and
Well,
just
were
didn't
you here? Did I already
say it.
tell you about my backflip?
Well, so this is kind of what I want to talk about a little bit
Because
because
I did.
when
I did it.
when we were when we were there, you showed me the tree that you
Yeah.
wanted to do a double with Jason. Jason go
Uh-huh.
through this tree that was all caked in snow and like bent in half, and so there's a tunnel through, and you're like, oh man, if I can go over the top of the tree while Jason's going through it, it's gonna be an epic picture.
Yeah, I was gonna ride like a
Um,
rainbow or try and like slash across the front or something. But the
yeah,
front is
exactly.
downhill from it. So when we actually like scopes it out, like you'd need a hard banked turn to get momentum back uphill in order to
Yeah,
carve around the top of the tree.
and that's
And
kind of what I was expecting when you were showing me the picture. But
yeah.
I saw one cool picture and one epic outtake of it, and the slow mo epic was awesome. So tell me about how that went.
Well, we went down to check it out, and so again, you have like a tree that's just fully bent over with a hole in the middle. And first of all, the hole in the middle, we had some friends that did it before, so that, okay, I know you can ride through this. And we went and looked at it. It's way tighter than you think. Like it is,
Really?
it is really, really tight. And you kind of, and it, obviously it's in a tree well because it is a tree, right? So it
Right.
has this weird drop into it, which anytime you're like using trees as jumps or as rails or whatever you're doing with trees, the run in and run out of them is always weird because the wind is then blowing these gaps right before and after. So it's real easy to like end up in a hole or hit the front side of a
Right.
bump. But if the wind is blowing right and all the lips, it all just lines up correctly, it can turn into some really cool features.
Yeah.
And so anyway, so this had like that. So on Jason's part, even to get through that hole was really hard. And
Yeah.
it kind of bumps you as you drop down into it, and then got to duck really low, and then has a bump up like a little jump right on the exit. And so,
Oh
so
man.
he kept smacking his helmet on the tree every time he'd come out of it because he'd
Yeah.
making it fine, and then it tries to throw him up, and so that was
Man.
complicated to begin with. Then,
Luckily, Jason knows how to get low. Jason's a very good getting down low rider.
yeah, he got all the way down there. I don't
Yeah.
know that I could have fit through there real honestly,
Really? Is that
without
tight?
like I could probably lay back over the tail and slide
Okay.
through that way, but I think just
Yeah.
straight on like stacked over my board, I don't think I'd fit.
Yeah.
And anyway, so we got that, and then same thing with going to then hit the side of it. When I looked at it, it was to ride over it would have been impossible. It was vertical for like 3.5 feet. So you had
Yeah.
like a little turn up, and then it was just straight up the wall. So
Yeah.
anyway, and then the wind again, the tree well around it was really deep, so I actually had to cut out some snow in order to get a ramp down into it. Otherwise, I was just
Okay.
dropping into a hole and then slamming into a wall is all that would happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, so that's what it shaped, and then and I kind of threw some snow up on the bottom to get a teeny bit of transition up onto this perfectly straight up wall. So I thought,
Mhm.
okay, well, I'm pretty good at just slashing things. So if you're not familiar, so you go, I'm going in left foot forward, and basically as you go up, just like you would if you were slashing a wall, surfing, you see, surfers do cutbacks, and you basically throw your back leg up and then ride back down. So you just
Right.
slide up to a 180, come back down. And so I came into it with not much speed. First time I went in and wasn't even close. Like didn't have no speed just to test it out. Kind of rode up, rode over it. Okay, I got it. Now I just
Okay.
got to come in way faster. So I
And
came
so,
in.
were you still thinking at this point that you're going to make it over the top?
Not a chance. No,
Oh,
without
okay. Okay.
reshaping the tree, there's no way I'd get onto it. I just needed to get
Okay.
up onto the vertical part so this looks cool. Get off the ground
Okay.
a little bit. And I thought
Right.
I can be
Right.
completely vertical, throw my board around, and then come back down. That's totally
Okay.
doable. And
Okay.
and for the record, this is not an epic powder day. That is not what
Oh
we had to
no.
work with at all. So it was marginally soft, is what we were working with.
Okay. Okay.
And so, anyway, so I come down into it. This is Jason and I decide, okay, we got the camera set up. Let's just do this. We go at the same time. And so we go
Yeah.
down, and our timing ended up perfect. Like it really, which timing that also was its own thing of like, okay, how
Oh
do I make it
yeah,
so I slash at the same time you're exiting the tree, right? Because
totally.
there's a lot of timing there as far as how fast I need to go, how fast you need to go, how much slower am I going to get when I do the slash, what's that time going to take? Anyway, and it just happened to work out perfectly. So,
Yeah,
anyway, I show you connecting on my end. You got a problem there at all?
yeah. There was like you paused for a second, and then
Okay.
you're reconnecting. Weird.
Okay. There we go.
Okay. Yeah. Huh.
Anyway, so I come down into it and I ride up the wall and throw my back leg, and then all of a sudden I saw the ground above me, and I was on all fours. And I just stopped on all fours, and Jason was down below. It's like, I think I just did a backflip. I don't know how else I ended up here. You know? It was like, so then we thought, okay, well, let's try this on purpose now. Like,
Right.
if that no, then we backed off again. Next time, okay, let's do it again. This time I can get that slash there. I can really commit to it.
Okay. Okay.
So went in to do that, and then same thing. I did throw it up way better. I mean, I got a really cool slash, but as soon as it went up, it just released off the tree, and I had so much force that it, again, threw me all the way around, and I almost landed back on my board again. Like, I'm not trying to do this. It just like threw me around, and here I am back on all fours, like probably 6 inches away from maybe riding off with a backflip out of this
Wow.
thing. And so then I was like, okay, we're gonna commit on this one. Let's go in.
Yeah.
We're gonna go in a little hotter on it. Let's go.
Okay.
This time I'm just gonna like squish out my tail off the top, and I'm just gonna grab my board and hang on and see what happens.
Yeah.
So we went down. I went up. It went upside down. I reached for my board and I got scared, and I looked back and let my arms out.
Oh.
It still came all the way over, and I landed again, kind of like, like on all fours again. And I was just fine. Like, oh, I could have committed there. But man, there was so much, because I was, maybe a foot off the ground, you know? So my board ends up, 6 feet off the ground, but my hand's almost touching the ground when I'm fully stretched out.
Yeah.
Flip. So, anyways, it's not like I'm going very high at all, but so that spin was so fast that it was completely not controllable.
The picture, one of the better outtakes that I saw was exactly what you're describing. Your board is at its peak, 6 feet up, your head's a foot off the ground maybe, and completely outstretched. And
arms are out like I'm doing jumping jacks.
Yeah, you totally could have made it. Those obviously that's not a jump, right? But those situations where you're hitting something that just throws you in that direction and you have no control over it at all. You're just like, it reminds me of like really old, like Silver Mountain back in the day would have jumps in the train park like that, especially early in the season. They just like, they're like, oh, let's just throw a massive lip on this, and there's a big hill to land on. People will be fine.
Because no one
understood
understood geometry back then at all.
No,
or
it
anything.
just getting thrown in the weirdest positions.
It's like
man. So do you think you can claim a backflip on that then?
I'm gonna say I've done one. I haven't ridden off of it.
Oh, okay. I like that distinction.
So
I've
ride
done it a couple times. Didn't quite ride out
over though, because I actually, real honestly, there's an element of it where I do have less fear now with it.
Good.
So I'm excited to again find the next position. I want to find something a little mellower, but a similar type of feature to then do the same thing off of. Because this is doable. I just need to hit this like 4 or 5 more times. And you know how it is when you're hiking it every single time. Like I hit it 4 times. And at the end of that, it's like, okay, I'm beat. I don't have the energy now to go. Yeah. Because you're hiking, strapping in quickly, and then riding down, and then using maximum effort for those couple seconds. And anyway.
And you're like, hopefully we'll find some powder next time.
Right. Yeah. Well, and we've got a couple inches coming in every day right now, so there's soft
awesome.
snow out for a little while. Well, and that goes into an interesting thing about just where something I've been watching with my workouts lately, especially while I'm snowboarding, I'm running, I'm lifting, and I'm doing all of it a lot. Outside of, I got sick last week and it took me out hard. Outside of that, that's what I've been working on and really pushing hard, because I know I can get completely sore right now and have tons of time to recover. So this is not a bad time just to push in every area as much as soon as I feel a little recovery, hard day again, and so I'm not letting a full recovery happen at all. No problem. Okay. And I have hit kind of a pretty consistent breakdown stage now. Like I'm just getting weaker. but I still then, as soon as I don't feel sore, I can push again. And it's
Right,
been
right.
feeling good. I probably will be able to test to see if I have results in a few more weeks, because I've been at this now
Okay.
for over a month, and we should
Okay.
have a little build up pretty soon. And then I got sick, so that made me take a rest week, which was
Yeah.
probably exactly what I actually had to happen. So,
Probably needed it.
well,
May or may not be contributed to your being sick.
right. Well, because I have been feeling like I can go, I can run really hard twice a week,
Okay.
just fine. Like that's not a
Good.
problem. Where in the past that's been like once a week is really all I can do, but like
Yeah.
full on hard speed days twice a week.
Okay.
And then I've been lifting. I've been changing body parts basically in lifting, but still going pretty hard on a different body part, 3 to 4 days a week, and just
Good.
rotating. And
Yeah.
and so anyway, which I don't think is if I was younger is not an abnormal way to do things, but
Yeah.
but at my age it's something I haven't been able to do in recent history, where I often haven't
Right.
had the time to like push that hard into something and then recover enough to
Right.
be able to keep that up. And
Yep.
anyway, so that's all working right now. But what I was thinking about though with that is with the snowboarding, you get, well, with running, distance running, you know, you're so often like, okay, what is maximum effort? Maximum effort
Mm-hmm.
for a half marathon, of course, like, well, for 40 minutes, I'm nowhere near max effort, actually. I'm actually,
Of course.
I need to be very relaxed, you know,
Yeah.
and maybe even into an hour. I'm still
Yeah.
very relaxed. And then, you know, and then, but it's been a funny contrast with having the different type of weightlifting, where sometimes I'm doing really explosive, really near max effort, and
Yeah.
feeling like that's max effort. And then I'm doing speed intervals, where then I feel
Yeah.
like that's max effort, right? And I've been like
Right.
I've been pushing the treadmill at least like on 2 runs a week. I'm bumping the treadmill to a 450 pace for at least a little bit every
Nice.
single time, because I just want to
Yeah.
get my legs stretched out, and I want to be able to be calm at a 450 pace
Yeah.
for 10 seconds.
Yeah. For some
know?
amount of time.
So
Right.
just a little bit, but just
Yeah.
get that stride long enough, get that boost off of my calves and all that. And but then so you have all of that where I can feel worn out there. I can feel worn out by, you know, I've been doing the 10-800s every week.
Right.
And been feeling like, okay, so that, I mean, you know what 10-800s are. It's max effort. You know, your first
Yes, they are.
one might feel pretty comfortable. Your
Yeah.
second one is like, I don't know how this is going to work.
Yeah.
You know,
in my experience, the first 3 are just garbage. They
Yeah.
never feel good.
And after that, it's not like it's better because we're staying at pace, right?
Yeah.
You know, you're
Right.
not backing off or anything. So
Yeah.
after that, it's more like you just got used to it. You didn't
Yep.
reduce effort. That didn't happen.
No.
You know, so
No.
you're still pushing so hard every time for 40 minutes straight, you know?
Yeah.
And so, you know, so we have that stuff. So that max effort, lifting max effort, and then you take that to snowboarding max effort, which like there's been a few things that I've really been working on there. And max effort snowboarding is a fraction of a second, right? Just the full
Right.
explosion of everything to get
Yeah.
this one move for one moment, and then that's it.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
and
it's true, and effort is a different thing with the snowboarding, because it's the effort is the precision, right? So like it's not like you are straining as hard as you can in the quote unquote effort. It's about you executing, and that's your maximum effort, right?
Well, yeah, well, there's the 2 different efforts. You know, I learned a new trick on a box this last week, so that was a
I saw the video.
it was mind effort, right? Like,
Absolutely,
getting
yeah.
my brain, a lot of effort in like getting my body just calm down, don't
Yeah.
freak out. You know, once you get on a box, the key is to do nothing, and to make
Yeah.
yourself do nothing is really hard. And when you know things are going bad, to continue doing nothing is really hard. So there's that. Or then hitting a jump in a certain way where you really might explode with 100% of every energy I've got on the explosion off the jump, because I'm trying to get to
Yeah.
a certain height, trying to do this exact thing, and just like, but just for a moment, and you can feel your muscles respond to full on, like, no, we're just throwing this one time
Yeah.
as hard as possible, you know. And then the
Right.
weird sorenesses I get then, where I'll get like one strand of my hamstring right now is straight.
Yeah.
Just one strand.
Yeah.
Like I can feel, I know
Yep.
which one it is even. Like it's weird.
Yeah.
Like, oh, just that one. I assume with some of the stuff you've done, you've probably experienced that quite a bit, but that's been a
Oh,
new
yeah,
thing this
yeah.
year. because I'm pushing so many different directions that it's very,
Yep.
I'm noticing very minute specific areas of soreness. It's very different.
So you started this off on talking about how you're going to see or you're hoping to see the results of it soon. Like, what are you testing, or how are you identifying like the payoff?
Well,
What are you
I'm gonna
hoping
check
to
in.
notice?
Yeah, well, overall, the goal is to be as really just as strong as I can. But then of course we're aiming at Bloomsday, so
Of
50
course,
minute Bloomsday,
right.
right? So that's what I'm
Yeah.
really aiming at, and I'm not adding very much distance in yet. So right now,
Right.
I'm working on speed, and then having some distance, but I don't think I've run over 6 miles at one time yet. So because I
Yeah.
have plenty of time to add that in. So
You and me both.
yeah. And, I mean, I have to, and you know, the distance is the easy part for me. So that's like, okay, well, that'll just be
Right.
nice and relaxing when I get to
Oh my
add in
gosh.
a little more of that. But, and really, as far as that really goes, I mean, you know, 40-minute, 10 800s, you
Yeah.
know, so I'm doing 40 minutes of speed intervals
Mhm.
is
Right.
still, that, I mean, it's not like that's an actual sprint workout at all. That is a distance workout,
Yeah.
you know,
Yes, it
and
is. Because I've been doing sprint workouts, and when I go back to the 10-800s, I'm like, oh my god,
yeah.
this is a whole different thing.
So it's still distance training for sure, even though there's speed involved. That's what I'm trying to get faster, but it's not
Yeah.
like my stamina is going to be gone or anything like that. And then we've
Yeah,
been
yeah.
doing, so I've been doing that, alternating that, and then fartleks is the other thing I'm doing every week. And
How are
then
you structuring your fartlek?
I'm trying to be in the true spirit of it. I
Okay.
set a time that I'm going to run for, and
Yeah.
then I'm playing with all of the speeds.
Right.
Just all of them. So I slow
Yeah.
down. When I'm slow, usually I get bored within about 45 seconds, maybe a minute, somewhere
Yeah.
in there. But I'm trying not to pay attention. And
Yeah.
then I'm going to go up to a speed that seems fun. And then it's fun to go faster. I'll go a little faster. Maybe
Yeah.
I'll play around in fast speeds, then drop
Yeah.
all the way back because I'm going to throw up. And so then I back off again, and then I hang out for a little bit till I'm not going to throw up anymore. Then let's go to this speed. So I'm just jumping everywhere and just trying to trick things is what I'm doing.
Yeah, I remember, man, it's like a year ago we were talking about that we wanted to do a fartlek together with that spirit where we would trade off the pace.
Right.
Like you do a pace for one, that I'm going to take for the pace, and not, it's like you're describing, not fast or slow, just like, okay, now it's on you. Whatever you're feeling, you do that. And we never did it. And
I know.
I completely forgot about it. So this year, maybe this summer, we got to actually do one of those.
Yeah, we got to make it happen because it'd be a lot of fun, and you just kind of just screw with the other person. You pick the distance and speed, and you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So mean.
I remember doing it in high school, and it was brutal because, of course, I'm running with like varsity guys. You know, you're trying to do these with guys that are like, you know, legit way faster than me.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I was not in their league at that point at all. And anyways, I've been doing that. I was just like really screwing around with that, and then in between the other 3 days, I'm just doing basically just a consistent run at a relatively lower heart rate. So it depends on how I'm feeling about what speed that is, but but making sure that I'm breathing, but I'm just casual. You know, I'm not really worrying about it at all. I'm honestly not even paying attention to my speed. You know, trying not to check my watch much or anything like that. Just doing what I'm doing. So
yeah. It's my kind of run right there. Don't pay attention, just go.
Yeah. So the thing I'm going to test with it though is, I think I'm going to give it 2 more weeks, especially with being sick. I'm still this week. I still am feeling kind of weak after I've been back at it this week and have not been able to perform like I thought I could. Like I threw yesterday. I went for the 10 800s. I only got 8 of them, and I took off at 6-minute flat pace, and that 6-minute pace is starting to feel really, really comfortable. And by my third one was, I don't want to do anything forever, ever again. and then it switched to, by my fourth, what it switched to, I think I'm going to get hurt if I don't back this off. Like, this is not, I'm going to fall off the treadmill. I might faint. I'm getting weird phantom pains all over my legs, you know, and so, not phantom pain, real pains. But my legs are hurting at all kinds of different spots and joints and everything. Okay, well, no, you got to back off today. You're not ready yet to get all the way back into this. But
and that takes that's kind of difficult to listen to your body in that moment. You know, it's like, because you know how to tap into the other level and you want to, but like, until you feel like such a failure almost in like accepting that like this is too fast or this is too hard or like my body is not responding to it. Dude, I tried 10 800s last week because I'm in kind of like a peaking phase, and so like I'm not doing anything heavy for the rest of the week. And so last week I'm like, oh, good opportunity to do 10 800, do a hard run, and then I'll have a whole weekend to recover, and I'll do some stuff this week. And
Yeah.
I hopped on, and I was trying to do like just under 7 minute pace. Like I'm not even trying to go fast.
Yeah.
Well, what I would consider fast, and it was so hard. And then I kept on getting interrupted with work stuff, which I'm really, really thankful for, because it was feeling. Even the first two I did, I'm like, I don't know if I could do this today. Like it feels so fast and like so difficult. Because I haven't been running that type of distance at all, you know.
Right.
So the payoff is going to be the runs, right?
Yeah,
so just trying to feel faster.
I'm just going to test it. So I think I want to test it with a 5K and a 10K. So I think in 2 weeks, my fast days are just going to be basically race days. So I'm just going to, I want to race a 5K, I want to race a 10K, and just kind of as a benchmark, okay, where am I at? What have I accomplished so far? And how is this speed compared to where I need to end up? You know, am I in that vicinity yet? You know, and then, and then adjust from there. So.
Yeah.
Kind of weird lighting things going on here.
Well, that's great. Whatever's happening right now is great. Oh man, yeah. Every time we talk, I get all fired up and jealous. I want to go do some hard runs. I want to do all this stuff when I shouldn't. I'm not supposed to do that yet. I have another week before I can do anything like that.
Well, you got backflips coming up tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm doing tomorrow. Friday. Yeah, my birthday's tomorrow. I'm gonna do it Friday.
Yeah.
Friday, and so I've been playing around with this, and I think I'll just bite the bullet and make a decision now. The backflips don't feel like enough. I want something else also, because you know they'll take an hour maybe, and they'll be fine. Like I'm not worried about them. So I'm gonna do 1,000 push-ups.
Yeah, I saw you mention that. Okay.
Because why not? I've never done 1,000 before.
You've been in that 300 range for a while, right?
Oh, that was just on a whim. Like 2 weeks ago, I was just like, I was doing my workout, and I did some push-ups because of our family push-up thing that me and Dad do mostly. I
haven't done any in so long. But I don't want to really get out of like the text thread, so I'm just in the thread. But I'm not doing push-ups.
You'll pop back in eventually.
We'll see.
So I was doing a workout, and I've done 100 already, and I'm like, what if I just do 200 more? So I like got down, like I put a show on my phone, and I just did 10 and 10 and 10 and 10. Like I tried to take as little gaps as I could, and just did like 300. I'm like, okay, I felt good. Yeah. And then like a few days later on the Saturday, I'm like, let's see if I can do 5. So I did 5, and now I'm like, well, thousands. I mean,
it's just double.
I don't know. It's double. It's not gonna be.
Do it twice, right?
It's not gonna be. Yeah, that's exactly what I.
You gotta do it twice.
Do that twice.
And
so,
2 times. And 2 times is really not very much. I mean, if you do something one time, you can do something 2 times.
Twice.
Right? Like,
one of my clients, every time a workout is getting hard, she'll tell me what her count is, and her count always shifts to less and less and less, and how many times she's doing that number. So like, if we're doing like 10 reps of something, she's like, oh, that was good. That was 10. And then like later in the workout, she's like, oh, that was 2 sets of 5. Right there, and then the next one is like, I did 5 sets of 2 on that one. That was so hard. Like just because you just gotta do it. It's just 2 reps,
5 sets times. That's great. You get 10 sets of 1.
Yeah, exactly. But man, and so yeah, it's twice of 500. It'll take me all day to probably, but
I think that way of thinking
I want something different.
I think that way of thinking is a really good way of thinking. So I heard once that like, okay, if you had $1, if I gave you $1 today, could you make that $1 turn into $2 by the end of the day? Like do something with it to where you have $2, and you think, yeah, I could do that, right? Like okay, well now you got $2. Can you make that 4? Yeah, I can make $2. Okay, well if you can do that, and you just keep doing it. Okay, how much money do you have? You want to double it by tomorrow?
Right.
The same fundamentals should we, in theory, that kind of thing. And you start looking at that. If you started doubling the $1 every day starting today, you're like a millionaire within, I don't know, like 6 months or something like that. I don't know. You can take $1 and keep doing it.
Yeah.
Now, the reality of that, I mean, first of all, I think it's a really good way to think about stuff, right? Like whether or not that's practical to actually do something. But that way of thinking is good, and I think it fits into this type of stuff too. A good way to like, yeah, okay, can you do something twice? Yeah, I can do something twice. Yeah. Shoot, I can do something 3 times.
Exactly, right? Exactly. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, just like those 800s. All of a sudden, when you've done 6 of them, 4 is easy.
Yeah,
right?
well, and also,
Like,
man, sometimes I don't even get to that mindset. I just get to like just do one more. You're like, all right,
mhm,
well, that I did, yeah, I did whatever. I only have to do one more. It's fine.
yeah,
And then you finish that one. It's like, oh, well, what's one more after that? And then and then you go until you're done.
right,
no
yeah.
more, no more left.
Although,
Uh,
when was the last time you actually hit the end? So, because you do get that, like, okay, one more, that like trainers especially will say, always say, you can do, people will say you can do anything for 30 seconds, kind of, but
yeah,
you can also, or
kind of.
you can always do one more, right? But then, like, well, we're not in high school anymore. We're grown adults and we've
Yeah,
been working out for a
yeah,
very long time, and we do know how to actually get to where one more does not actually have, you go for that one more push, and you're like, no, these arms will not lift this body, period.
yes, yes. I mean, I have definitely been into. Man, I don't know. Not in a long time. Push-ups, yes. I've been into certain times where push-ups, I can't do one more. Outside of that, I don't know. Okay. Here's the only way I can equate that in what I've been doing in the past like couple of years is with my sprinting. It's not that I can't do one more rep of the distance. I
Mhm.
can't do that speed. I'm
Right.
trying. I'm trying to hit times,
Yeah.
and I've definitely hit that breaking point. Like, nope, there is no one more of that speed. I
Right.
dropped off 2 seconds. I am not getting those 2 seconds back. Like, it's just I'm done. But aside from that, I would say if I'm honest with myself, it's always mental. I
When you're
chose
running
to
with
not do one
your,
more.
well, yeah, I wonder if there's still. I get curious about that. In a lot of areas, I know how to push.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there is a mental barrier that also is protecting a physical barrier, right? So the physical barrier
Mm-hmm.
might be actually there, but I might be avoiding injury. Like, I might really
Mm-hmm.
be pushing to a point where, like, yeah, my body's saying it cannot do it. Could it technically, like, put a lion behind me? Probably,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Could you go that fast one more time?
Uh,
If
of
you're gonna,
course.
if you're for sure gonna die, yeah, you
Yeah.
probably got it. Also,
Yep.
you might maybe you tear something on that one, or something
Most
like,
likely.
you know. But it has been fun with the lifting's been fun with that because I'm still not, I don't lift a ton, and
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm still learning better form and knowing how to push and everything. I've had several
Yeah.
times where, like, I go up and weight and, like, oh, it still feels the same. That wasn't
Mm-hmm.
actually harder. Oh, I could have done
Right.
more. I just
Right.
don't know what the heck I'm doing, and, like, oh, and
Yeah.
I stabilized some of my form a little better, and all of a sudden that worked. And anyway,
Yeah.
but
I,
yeah,
I routinely don't tell clients what they're lifting all the time, especially if
yeah,
it's like a barbell situation or a rack where like they're not seeing the dumbbells in front of them. They're like, oh, how
uh
much is that, Mike? It's a certain amount. Don't worry about it. Like, because I don't want you to
yeah,
get in your head of like that this is heavy or not,
right,
or that I increased it or not. Like, and then oftentimes we'll come back around like, oh my gosh, did you increase this? I'm like, nope,
yeah,
it's
right,
exactly the same. Like you're just dying. And so, but also like, yeah, and in the gym, I don't. For the most part, I don't really want to be in a position where I'm pushing to that max effort, unless
hmm,
it's just at the end where like I just have nothing left anymore. But even
yeah,
then, I don't like to do that a ton anymore.
yeah,
If I don't need to, unless there's like a very specific goal behind it,
right. Well, I
Yeah.
think I'm doing it. I'm trying to do it pretty regularly because I don't lift anything like you do. As far as consistency or how anything like that.
Yeah.
And so I think that I often get stuck in feeling like something's heavy, and it's
Hmm.
not anywhere near. I'm like, I think I'm
Of
pushing
course.
around 80%, and it's not. I'm
Yeah.
probably lifting at 40%.
Right. Right.
Where I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. Oh, nice. Sometimes I do that where I was benching the other day, and I was lifting like I think 135, and it felt really, really
Hmm.
heavy. And then I did the math, and I'm like, I definitely can bench a lot more than 135. Like this,
Yeah.
but it was feeling hard because I don't do it that often,
Right.
and
Yeah, exactly.
and
Well, and a different modality too. Like I can dumbbell press a lot
mm,
and a barbell chest press. I probably can do quite a bit, but I don't
right,
do it ever. I never
yeah,
do that lift. And so when you get under a bar, no matter what it is, even if it ends up being a lightweight at first, you lift it off and I'm like, oh, this feels really heavy.
right,
No
yeah,
matter,
being
even if I
actually,
can knock out 10, no problem, and like
yeah,
and I feel fine after. But the initial like hold it, you're like, oh man, this feels so heavy. Or
right,
back squats are the same thing. You put a bar in your back, especially as I've been kind of getting back into them recently,
hmm,
and pushing my weight heavier and heavier. I still have a threshold of weight where I put it on, I stand up and just holding it. I'm like, this feels really heavy. Doesn't matter
yeah,
how easy the squat is, it just the holding it still feels like at a certain number. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe I have to do this, kind of situation.
It's been so useful for my snowboard instructing with knowing how to squat, because that's exactly how you teach a new person how to stop. And
Yep.
if you think about it, not only is it just to teach you how to stop, but you're also, you need to be in that position because you are actually, the amount of force going through your legs is significantly amplified from your weight. Especially depending on how fast you're going. But even at a slow speed on the bunny hill, when you have a little bit of momentum and you get over onto that heel edge and you get low to get in that spot, the amount of force going through your legs is pretty significant. And so, just stacking that all up, aligning the back so that it can't bend when that extra force comes through. Anyway, it's been really nice to do that. And then so many people just have, I feel like, especially as I'm teaching more and more adults lately, more people are lifting these days. Like,
it's a lot more common.
Very different than what I was experiencing, 6-7 years ago. I still, with kids are getting weaker and weaker still. I'm not getting, well, this year's been a little bit different actually. Up until this year, I was getting really, really unathletic kids, like significantly more. Just video game players that were super Gumby, and it's real hard to help them do that because there's not the structure there yet. And but adults, I think, are lifting some weights.
Yeah.
So, because I can talk to them in that way and like, oh, have you done this before? Yeah. Okay. Show me your form. And okay. Yeah. You know how to do that. Great.
Yeah.
And then we have that to build off of. But it's so much, our stance is basically a wide squatting stance to begin with. So
it is.
Really
and I remember in college when that clicked, because that's when I started getting into lifting and squatting. And and it clicked. I'm like, oh, and I switched my setup around because I'm like, oh, I need to be in a squat position on my snowboard. My stance is not right. My stance is way off. And so I shifted how I was. I'm like, oh, it light bulb went off. I'm like, oh, of course, I just should be squatting all the time.
That's just all you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine worked the other way
so
around. I moved my legs out in my squat and all of a sudden it worked.
Yeah. Yeah. You have a very wide stance on your snowboard.
I know. It's
wider than mine and I'm taller than you.
Yeah. That's true. It's us guys over 40 that have been snowboarding. That's what we got, that wide stance in our 20s.
I hop on your board and I'm like, oh my gosh, am I on like a big kid's board? Like you ever you see a little kid on a skateboard and their feet are like all the way to the end? I'm like, that's what I feel like on here. This is smaller than my board though. How is this bigger?
Well, so two of the guys that I've been riding with that are other trainers and stuff, and they were talking about our stance, and they're about my age, a little bit older, and anyway, so they were talking about their boards, like, yeah, I got a really wide stance here. I was like, that's the same as mine. Like, that's not that's completely normal to me. Actually.
You're not that wide, man. Dude, I remember this popped in my memory. This is kind of on subject, kind of not. I was talking to somebody about snow because it's been snowing over here a little bit, and not sticking, but it's come down.
Like
it
actual big flakes too.
From the sky, you saw it coming down, and then it disappeared.
Nikki had a picture with white flakes on her coat.
Oh
so
Puyallup.
So it kind of
Puyallup, they got snow on the ground. We didn't get any on the ground, but I was thinking about high school and snowboarding, and when you needed to do stuff so bad that it didn't matter how much snow there was. Kind of like when we would build the little park in your backyard, So I remember one winter it snowed, and Luke and I were at church and we're like, let's go build a kicker after church. There's multiple inches. Downtown there wasn't a lot, but we'll just go to the South Hill and it'll be fine, right? We'll go up to I forget what that park is, kind of by it's like Lower Marycliff or some other park. Yeah, it's that one, whatever park that is. And so we're like, we'll go up there, we'll build a kicker. I think maybe we had done it months before or weeks before where there was more snow. And so we went in, and I think we had just learned to do backflips because neither of us could drive. So we had someone drop us off. So we got our snowboards, we drove up there, and there was the amount of snow to where I think all of the blades of grass were covered. Right. I don't think any grass is poking through, but barely. So what's that? At maximum 5 inches? Yeah. 4, 3,
probably
depending on where you're at. Yeah. And so
we got 2 today, and my grass is covered. That's so.
So we built this jump that was just a little bump, right? We gathered all the snow on the entire hill, and we built
Yeah.
this little jump because we had just done backflips and we wanted to do backflips, and we couldn't go to the mountain until the next week or something. And so we're so determined, like we have to like just practice and practice more. So we built this little tiny thing that was probably like a foot. It couldn't have been more than 12 inches high off the ground, right? But and so we go, and I think we both landed at least one, and we both also ate it so hard at least once. Like one of them, toe side, you're coming around the backflip, toe side catch, and you just like face plant and like scorpion boards over the top. I think Luke might have hit his head with his board at one point.
Can you think of any times where he might have gotten a concussion?
Oh my god!
Can you think of any?
Anything that might have caused a skull fracture at some point? Yeah.
Where maybe we might have.
Yeah, a few.
Just like half the times we hung out.
Yeah, most of them. One of them, my bales, I came around and my toe edge created like a huge divot in the grass and popped it. So I did the same thing, a face plant.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking back to that time of how fun that was to like not break ourselves, but just be so stoked that like I don't care. There's a little bit gonna make it happen, and I feel like your snowboarding this year is kind of like that.
Oh, it has been. Right? That's been what's
like
so
you
fun.
just like seem to be tapping into this level where like your body's functioning well, you're having decent snow, and you're like you're learning stuff. And so it made me think of that time because I feel like I'm very envious of where you are right now.
Yeah, no, it's exactly that, where I'm feeling really strong. I feel like I can take a hit. I don't want to take a super hard hit, but I can wreck right now.
Of course.
And walk away, and it's no problem. I did put on padded shorts for our lesson on the boxes the other day, so we did that. Because it was actually a trainer's since I teach the instructors how to instruct, and that's on that end of things. Because of that, there's no one to train us. So those of us that are trainers, when we're working on things, we kind of have to like watch a video or make it up as we go or try and figure something. We never have actually like a time when someone can help us through something, break down what we're doing, and help us with our movements and all that stuff. And so we decided that this year we got the mountain to even do it for us, where we get one training day a month. And so it was like 2 hours. So we go up in the evening, 2 hours once a month, and then basically we can all just work on a thing. So we can do that where we can all pick each other's stuff apart. But this particular one, with the people that were going, Dustin, who he's been he was one of the people that did examinations for other people and other mountains and stuff like that, and worked super high up in the industry, and did that for like 25 years. And so, and then like on the freestyle level, coaching top athletes, in that area of things. So anyway, so we were trying to think of something to do, but with the people that ended up there, we were like, well, they put these little boxes down right off the bunny hill. And we've all been like, they're sitting right there. We're going to get good at boxes this year. Because we have to stay on the bunny hill anyway all the time. So like, cool. I've had an excuse to really get good at this in 8 years. And 8 years ago, I had some tricks I could do. And then so anyway, so he just threw on our messaging thing. He's like, what about we do Nollie 270s onto the box? And I was like, sweet. Yeah. He's like, I think I can teach you how to do that without anyone like breaking themselves. I'm like, cool.
Okay.
I've never 270 onto a box. I've spun across one before. I've jumped on like 90 and then continued rotations. I've done that. I've done different board slides on them. And that was back when I actually took a class on this and then summer. And then it was summer. And then I next year I did a little bit. And then I didn't get back around to it for a long time. I got scared again. And anyway, so we did that. But I did put on my crash pads for it. So I do have padded shorts. I'm like, there's a good chance I hit tailbone or a hip or something like that. And I'm putting these on. And I'd actually never even worn them before, but it was really nice to have those on. I actually one time I actually fell after the box, but I did hit my hip pretty hard. And without that on there, it would have been rough. So
I can imagine.
It did save. But I think I'm going to wear them more often just because not having to worry about your hip bones or your tailbone hitting too hard, like that really added a lot of confidence to where outside of that, especially with that type of, like I'm not falling very far or anything, you're just kind of whipping into things. And
Yeah,
made it feel
I've
real
contemplated that over the years a lot. Yeah, just having
safe.
some padded shorts, man. Especially when we were skating a lot, I always wanted that.
Yeah, yeah. It's too bad we were also broke at the same time.
I know
'Cause we really
exactly.
should have had. Man, I was looking at those shorts. They make such nice skate padded shorts now. Do you know that? Like
Really,
super
I
nice.
do.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
fit under your pants really nicely,
Hmm.
and like yeah, it keep you from cracking a hip for sure.
Yeah,
And they look
I've
comfortable
seen
even.
those. If I were like, I keep on really wanting to not get back into, but get good at the vert ramp that we have over here.
Yeah,
And because like I've dabbled with it a little bit. It's so scary. It's so hard. But it's also like I like the conditions are always the same.
right.
It's just two walls that are
Yeah,
identical, and it when things work on it, it feels so good and so fun. And so I've wanted to do that, but that type of thing, like man, I'm already wearing like helmet and knee pads or hip pads would be so nice for that.
yeah.
Uh,
And throw
also,
some elbow pads on there too.
yeah, the elbows. I
Right.
never hit my elbows
No,
at
yeah.
all.
I hit my left one
They're not
pretty
close.
consistently for a while, long enough.
Yeah,
But those vert
yeah,
ramps, they
it's
do
true.
seem like as soon as you get, it seems like there's a certain thing that needs to click. Like as soon as
Yeah,
there's a certain motion that clicks, it feels like boosting out of that like 2 feet out and coming back in is probably not that hard when you understand something.
it
And I don't know what
kind
it
of
is.
yeah. It's not
You
too
know,
hard.
like there's a thing.
I got backside airs. I mean, kind of like they're kind of early grab esque. I wouldn't call them early grabs. I was grabbing at takeoff,
Sure.
and I got those a foot out, maybe foot and a half
Okay.
out, and then front side air kind of the same, foot and a half, which feels really big
Right.
in the moment. You
Yeah.
feel like you're like I bailed so many front side airs because I'm like this is so big, like
Hmm.
I have to bail out of this, and then like see the video later, I'm like oh that was nothing.
Right.
I was barely popping out of the coping, but it felt
Well, because
so huge.
how big is that thing? Is it 13, 12, somewhere
It's
there?
13 and a half.
So
With
13 and a half. You do when you look back down, you're looking at flat.
yeah,
And so if you're a
yeah,
foot out, you're 14 feet
yeah,
off the flat, and
yeah.
14 feet to flat is gonna hurt.
And it's also everything's just faster. Like you're just
Yeah.
going faster,
Hmm.
and it's a weird thing. Yeah. Anyway, your snowboard. The trick you learned was was that the 270, the one you posted? Because it was like you like did a full spin like on the box
Yeah.
and popped
So
off
I was
270 or something.
what I was trying to get, and I still haven't gotten to stop rotation yet, but I was trying to get it's a switch front side 270 board slide backboard.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Switch front. No. Yeah. Switch backboard 270. Yeah, because the rail's behind me.
Okay.
So anyway, so you come up, come over behind you, jump off the nose, and then
Yeah.
front side 270 spin, and then I wanted to get 270 and then stop rotation, and then just come out of it, and
Right.
but I couldn't get that to work with that much rotate. I was spinning so much
That's
into it that then I could not get it to stop rotation. So my
yeah.
head kept
That
looking
sounds
around the corner.
complicated.
If you turn your head
Damn it.
first, you can get it to go. Like you just gotta get
Okay.
all the way wound up as you jump, and then when you in
Yeah.
the air, you just gotta unwind and land.
Yeah.
Is what you have to, and then there won't be any rotation left. And
Okay.
but,
Gotcha.
but I couldn't get the second half. Then I decided, okay, screw that. I'm just gonna jump on and try and end up in 900 by the end, which worked out really good because then I
Yeah.
could come off regular. And so I
Yeah.
think the one I posted, it was a total of a 900 is the total amount of spins that
Okay.
happened. But yeah, basically
Gotcha.
270 and then another whatever,
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
whatever it is.
I just thought it was cool that you were spinning on the box, and like that
Yeah.
always freaks me out.
Dude, once you get
attempted that.
so once you do that, then all of a sudden everything feels fine because if
Really?
you can spin on the box, then you've disengaged all edges, and you're now used to disengaging all edges. Now you can jump on a box any direction, and it doesn't matter because you're comfortable not using edges.
Weird.
Because you
So
went-
that's such a hard concept for me to understand. I
so
don't
now
get
you can
it.
get on rails and do the same type of stuff because
That
it's
doesn't
the same
compute
thing
at all. Going to
and
rails.
then, yes, it's the same. I mean, it's the same idea. I don't know about spinning on a rail, but yeah.
Right.
But as far as like getting
Yeah.
but getting like front boards, back boards, lip slides, stuff like that on a rail
Yeah.
now is like okay.
Yeah.
That should be. I've been avoiding it because I don't want to catch an edge on a rail, and I'm like, no,
Gotcha.
I'm hitting these a ton, so I'm pretty confident about keeping my board flat, and so
Okay.
So I
Gotcha.
don't think it's going to be a problem. I just need to go, again, put in the time, put my paddle
Yeah.
shorts on.
uh, okay, so well, I want to talk about this thing I came across that I posted of uh, fitness requirements for how do you guys phrase it?
Oh, that's right. You
Five,
did
one,
post
two,
that.
three, four. It's like 6 or 7 things. This was specifically to men 40 and up.
Mm-hmm.
To the everyone should be able to accomplish or should be able to do to be healthy or to have your I don't know how he phrased it, but like kind of like this is like
it was like
the
7
benchmark to be
benchmarks
healthy across
every
the board.
man should be able to do, or something like
Yeah,
that.
over 40.
Right. Yeah.
And so and what intrigued me about it, so I'll say what it is real quick, and I'll say what pissed me off about it, or what I thought was incredibly inaccurate. So the 6 that I wrote down, there's one that I didn't write down because I forgot it. But squatting your body weight,
Mm-hmm.
so barbell, squat your body weight. Farmer's carry your body weight for 2 minutes. 5 pull-ups. They say unbroken pull-ups. I feel like that should never have to be specified. 5 pull-ups.
But rather than pull-ups.
What's that? Yeah. Otherwise, you just did one and then you rested,
did one.
and then you did another one. Yeah. 25 push-ups. 2-minute dead hang, so just hanging from a bar, and then a 10-minute mile run. And at a glance, and I've done all of these. Like I know all of these feel like. Have you done what of that list have you done?
I've never screwed around with a farmer's carry at all, but I think a body weight farmer's carry for 2 minutes is significant.
It's really, really long.
I was gonna say, because I think the only thing I've talked to people about trying to pull that off for 1 minute, and these are people that are not. This is not. I mean, these guys are not. This is not like people that don't work out. Like this isn't someone off the street being like, oh, maybe I can do. No, these people work out hard. They're like, let's try and get 1 minute. So that's super hard. 5 pull-ups. I feel like any athletic man in their 40s can do 5 pull-ups. Like you can just do 5 pull-ups.
Yeah.
25 push-ups again.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised.
I mean, I guess I've been rock climbing. I mean, like I'm by. Okay, so there's a few places where I'm flat out.
We'll
biased,
come back to the pull-ups. I have some comments on that.
Okay, I think body weight squat seems piece of cake. Farmer's carry seems super hard. 5 pull-ups, piece of cake. 25 push-ups, piece of cake. A 2-minute dead hang. Also, like from what I understand, 60 seconds is really hard. I've never tried it. But that's what I've heard from people that work out a lot. And then a 10-minute mile is like, I mean, you could walk and jog occasionally and hit a 10-minute mile.
So this is what annoys me about this list is kind of what you just described. These are all varying from really, really hard to moderately hard things.
Yeah.
And then you have a 10-minute mile run. That's like, you can't. I mean, I'm not saying that people need to be running like a 7-minute mile or a 5-minute mile or whatever for men.
If we were to make this more comparable to what we're looking at though, compared to like the farmer's carry would be more equivalent to like a 6:30 mile.
Yes, I think
you know
so.
I mean, like that is pushing for an
That's
athletic person.
For it.
It's pushing,
yes.
Right? And like
and
a 10-minute mile. It's not like I mean, if you don't work out at all. And you don't do any cardio. A 10-minute mile is gonna be hard, and you do have to work out for that. And that's not saying it's tough. And real honestly, I mean, you can walk a 14-minute mile just fine. That is a fast walk. And if I walk a 14-minute mile, I'm gonna be breathing kind of hard. Honestly, I'm gonna have trouble carrying a conversation walking a 14-minute mile. So anyway, but if you run at all as a man in their 40s. Yeah, you can run 1 10-minute mile, especially if it was like these other things where it's like, okay, but I gotta kill it to just try and get this thing done. Like the effort you're gonna put in for that farmer's carry.
Yes.
Yeah, no, you can run a 10-minute mile. Like that's not.
I did the farmer's carry, so I'm close enough to 200 pounds right now that so I have to have 100 in each hand.
Yeah.
I made it 45 seconds. Now here's a comparison though. Dead hang, 2 minutes, no problem.
Okay.
I mean, well, not no problem. It wasn't easy. It was difficult, but like, yeah, I can do 2 minutes. Like, it's not
I'd assume I
unattainable.
probably can, but again, I've seen some very in shape people fail trying to get 1. So, like
On a dead hang.
Yeah, like I know it can be hard.
Yeah.
It depends on how much
Yeah.
you use your grip strength and stuff like that.
So, and that's where I kind of like what you were talking about, like athletic. A man who's athletic doing 5 pull-ups. I think you and I have a very unique background of all the rock climbing. For me, all the pole vaulting, all the drumming, whereas like grip for the most part isn't that tough. The farmer's carry was very, very hard, but also there's other things happening in a farmer's carry. It's not just grip. It is grip, but like you're having a farmer's carry isn't just, it's not standing holding weight. Like you're walking, you're moving around, and that little bit of momentum changes like that grip. But because I can go from 200 pounds struggling to 45 minutes and then 2 minutes on a bar hanging, and it's not a huge deal, right? Difficult, but like attainable.
So is our bias here actually that the things that seem way too easy for us are actually way too easy for us because we're just good at them?
Yes.
That's probably more accurate, isn't it? Like farmer's carry, yeah, I don't walk around holding heavy things. I just don't do that.
No.
So that's going to be really hard for me, right? But is that actually equally as hard as 5 pull-ups for someone that never does pull-ups, right?
Yes, I think so. I think there's some discrepancy in this list between most of it. And so because I feel like 25 push-ups to 5 pull-ups, that's all easily trainable, not too hard. But regardless, it is trainable. The 10-minute mile run seems stupid.
It does seem it seems way too light. And it
seems like people are not putting enough emphasis on running.
Athletic man with no injuries.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do it. And I don't know.
I feel like I could take anybody off the street who has done an exercise in the past year and coach them to a 10-minute mile run.
Here's the question.
And they wouldn't be able to do anything else.
Do you be able to do all these back-to-back?
No. It wasn't a back-to-back situation. It was just benchmarks to stay healthy.
Let's do all of these this week.
Next week.
Next week. Let's do all of them next week, and post our results.
Okay.
Let's do that.
See how far we made it. Okay.
Let's see what it was, and just do the best you can, but do every single one of them, and let's do it because I think that'd be just fine. And because obviously some of them are going to be easy, and even to the point of the pull-ups too was like, well, geez, I mean, I started doing pull-ups when I was a kid because I thought they were fun.
Exactly.
This is what.
Well.
So.
Yeah,
I have the school record, right. So that's actually, I got to take that into account. No, this is going to be easier for me because I am built for this, and I've built my body for this since I was like 8 years old. So so that's its own thing. And then running thing too. Maybe that 10-minute mile. In all seriousness, we've been running since we were little, so we have designed a body to do it.
Again, yes, but not 10 minutes.
I mostly agree with you, but then I'm wondering. What person out there is going, that farmer's carry, piece of cake?
Oh, dude, nobody. Nobody's saying piece of cake on that farmer's carry. It's so hard.
Yeah, it'd probably be, I would be willing to bet that a guy that probably looks pretty out of shape but works construction, no problem, right?
Yeah,
you walk around with bags of concrete all day? That's going to be easy for that guy.
Yeah, depending on what their job in construction is. Yeah, that could be.
Because there is always that, right? There's our type of fit where we're quick and lean, but then there's especially when you're getting your 30s and 40s, there's also big guys, right? You got big guys that, real honestly, are super strong.
Yeah.
And they couldn't run that 10-minute mile. Not a chance.
Yeah.
Right?
I think they could. I don't think it's that hard. Because if you look up how what I looked it up the other day. I looked up how fast someone can walk a mile because Lisa and I were having a little disagreement on that, and a fast power walk to be competitive, like a competitive power walker, it like puts you around, not elite, not like crazy,
Sure.
like in competition, right? You're taking it seriously from an adult, yet you're in that 10-minute range, and then you have obviously get faster, faster, faster.
I find 14 for me is walking. I got
Right.
at 14.
But that's not pushing a walk.
No, that's a brisk walk,
Yeah.
but it's casual still.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so if we do all these, are we doing? We're just doing them. We're not trying to do our best. We're just doing them. We're doing back squat, body weight.
I think it's fine to
Farmer's
beat
carry.
it. You can go ahead and beat this, but let's hit this minimum. Do our best to hit this minimum, and post results of how close we can get to it. And I think it'd be interesting. Well, so this is my point. Is okay. Let's take a guy. I have a picture of a person in my head. So a guy that works on cars, works concrete, that kind of guy, right? And maybe weighs 250 to 270.
Yeah.
And like has a bit of a belly, but you'd think is out of shape. But you also know this guy does that kind of stuff. He might be able to do that farmer's carry without even trying, and he might and probably can't do a 10-minute mile.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
Because he's been life has been training him that way. Life's been training us the other way to be lean.
But he's not doing 25 push-ups or 5 pull-ups or a dead hang.
To that point again, right? Like things easier for us then.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe. Although the bodyweight squat was probably a piece of cake for that guy.
Yeah, that one's interesting though because a bodyweight back squat has a lot of technique involved.
It's true. Yeah, there's a certain.
And so
that's not because you can lift up heavy stuff. You actually have to do squats.
It's not a leg press. It's not a 600-pound leg press, right? It's a back squat, which is like there's a lot of stability and core and like how deep are you going and like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because even like a bodyweight back squat, I mean, I can do that right now. I don't know how deep it's going to be.
Sure.
Especially, and we're only talking one. We're not talking like reps. It's just one rep. Okay. All right. I'm down. Next week we'll do all these.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's get through all of them. Yeah, and I think I'll probably try to do. I mean, some days I'll just get a couple of them done because they're kind of.
I'm not going to do all of them in one day.
All right, together. It'd probably be fun to do one every day.
Well, I mean, a 10-minute run, that's just a warm-up, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think I'm going to do it anyway. I'm doing that every day.
I mean, of course we're going to talk shit on this list and on a running podcast, right?
We got to do that. It's like, 10-minute run. Do we do it backwards? Should we do it backwards? We'll do it backwards. Fine.
That'd be hard, actually. That'd be very difficult. Oh, man.
Yeah, I think I'd have some joint pain after that one.
Yeah, I think so, too.
All right, well, that's fun though. So let's this thing will come out before we actually do these.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to put this out in the next day or two.
Cool. Let's do that, and then let's put this out there. And if anyone wants to join with us, I'm gonna start at the top of the list on Monday. Is what I'm gonna do. And
that's just final recap: 10-minute mile run, squat your body weight. Farmer's carry for 2 minutes. 5 pull-ups. Farmer's carry your body weight for 2 minutes. 5 pull-ups, 25 push-ups, and a 2-minute dead hang. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep, that's the plan.
We'll see. See how good we do.
I'm excited. I've been wanting an excuse to do the dead hang and the farmer's carry are 2 things I've been wanting just an excuse to do. But then I'm like at the gym, like I don't want to just go burn out my forearms right now.
And the thing is about a farmer's carry, some people make this mistake on a farmer's carry, is they kind of they don't keep the motion going around, and that's the whole point. Is you have to stay walking. It's like one end to another, or walk in circles or something. It's not just standing around.
Right.
I've seen some people practicing their farmer's carry, and they're just kind of standing there, and then might move around a little bit, and they stand there.
Sure.
It's
you gotta walk.
The point is you are walking. It's A to B or a circle if you have to, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, then, the other thing that I've learned, because it was after starting to actually work with dumbbells over the last bit, is I have to be careful what shoes I wear because in my big squishy running shoes, when I just pick up my 45s, I flatten my shoes.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, I'm sure you sink a little bit.
I feel my shoe go. So I have to make sure I'm like in skate shoes for that or something. I need a solid shoe to make it
exactly.
through that for sure.
Yeah, or do it barefoot or something. Don't do it
Yep.
barefoot. You might drop it on your foot.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, so something like that for sure.
Yep. Exactly. So, all right. Well,
Okay.
that'll be fun.
Well, I'm excited about this. After my challenges this weekend, I can get back to my running and start working on this Bloomsday challenge that I'm
this
not.
Bloomsday, they're going to try and go under 50 minutes. You haven't started yet? It's going to be it's going to be so fast. I'm nervous already. I'm already feeling that, like, that initial when you take off and you're like, oh crap, this is fast, and I got to do this for a while. Because 6:45 is a fast pace. And that's what I got.
Part of my after hearing you talk about your plan these last 2 months and kind of like you're a long ways out, but you're already gearing up for it.
Yeah,
I've been thinking about what I'm going to do because obviously I'm intentionally not working on it yet.
Yeah,
and so I think I haven't mapped out a loop that is comparable to hills and mileage, and I think I'm just gonna do it like every other week, and not necessarily work on like the time every other week, but like I just need to do that distance more because I don't do that, and I need to have hills consistently in my routine. So I think like that just has to be part of my plan. Every other week I have to do that run, and I'll probably try to do it fast a couple times beforehand just to see where I'm at. Because
you're gonna need more than that to hit this time.
Oh no! I mean, like I'm gonna be running. But I'm saying like every other week, I'm gonna make sure I do that
just
specific distance and that one just to keep familiar with like this amount of hills, this amount of miles, and then I'll do all my other runs also.
Right.
But because I'm scared of it too.
Dude, I got pre-race anxiety already. Like it's not, and it's basically like the run's already been run. I've already like the outcome. You can like I feel the outcome already, and the outcome already is coming up short. Like my current outcome is at 52 minutes. I'll run it faster than I've done as an adult, but I don't make it right now for sure.
Well,
and as I keep feeling that speed. As I kept feeling that speed, it's like, I don't have it. I don't have that right now at all. And because we're going to have to run that low 6 pace for a lot of it. Like a lot. And that low 6. The low 6 hurts so bad. Like,
why are you talking me into this? Why are we doing this?
This is... Yeah, well, think of the satisfaction afterwards when life goes on, just as if you didn't do it at all.
When it changes absolutely nothing.
When nothing changes and you have a completely normal day after that, and then nothing really to show for it, except maybe you get a cool T-shirt the next year if we accomplish it. That's pretty cool. Got a few of those already though. So
no, you'll get the same T-shirt you would if you run it at a normal pace.
Oh no, dude! Second seating, you get a race jersey.
Oh really?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
you get a special start place. You get a race jersey. You get some things to make you feel pretty special about it.
But only if you do it the year following.
So you gotta, so if we make second seating, the next year when we go to sign up, we get a jersey.
So we have to do it again.
Yeah, then because you gotta then use it. You gotta use that start.
Well, but then we have to also hit 50 again.
So a friend of mine hit second seating the first time last year, and that's exactly what he's saying right now. He's like, crap, I have to train really hard again now, because now I get that start, and now I don't want to go there and then run slower. Have this start.
No kidding.
Yeah. So this is a 2-year commitment to have absolutely no effect on our life, except for we can brag about it to like the 4 people that care.
Okay. Wait. What are the age cutoffs? Do I have a different time?
Oh, you might have a different. Should we check? I can check right now.
Check. I'm not 40. I'm not 40 yet.
Yeah,
is it cut off at 40? Oh no!
Let me find out what it is.
Oh god! Oh damn it! I hope that's not the case.
Here, we'll know in just a second here.
Okay, so we're gonna look up how fast, what the age gaps are. What are the brackets? Not brackets. What are the levels?
Let's see here.
Oh man, I'm not. I think you're right. I think I'm in a different age bracket than you are. And I am not excited about that. Which means I need to get back on my 10-800s, just like you're doing.
Oh, you have to do, let's see.
It's like 48 or something,
I
right?
think it's 48 flat.
Oh no, 48 to get second seeding. Okay, well
Yeah,
I don't.
actually, I'm not sure that I don't need to also.
Oh no.
48. Let's
Who?
see.
What was what? What? Why? What are the
Senior.
age?
Well, right here it's just showing quadration courses. 50 and older, age. Yeah,
We're looking, people. We're looking.
I'm showing 50 or older has to run it in 53. I'm not seeing a breakdown right now for my no. Yeah, according to this, I have to run in 48 actually.
Oh no.
624 pace.
Okay. All right. Change of plans.
All right, I'll
624.
look further into that to see. This website came up really weird, so maybe I'm missing something. But yeah, okay. Well, let's run faster.
Okay. Run faster. I mean, we do have time.
Oh, 624 is fast. Oh
Yeah.
man. All right. All right. I'll look into it for sure, and I'll let you know exact times. But that is what it's saying as of right now. So.
Oh my
All right.
gosh.
Time to get to work.
Well, that just bummed me out.
I kind of bummed you out entirely this whole thing by showing you my anxiety, but you know.
Nah, it's okay. I got my own stuff this week. I'm excited about. I got 39 backflips and 1,000 push-ups to do later this week.
All right.
And
focus on
and
that.
my workouts are real fun this week because they're all tapering, so they're all just like mess around and be agile and don't do much. So it's gonna be good. Okay, we'll stress about Bloomsday next week, and we'll hit these challenges. All right. See ya.
See ya.